Sakto, pero...
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Dead Air, a horror podcast.
Brought to you by Big Baby Studios.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Dead Air, a horror podcast. My name is Chris Costello. I'm one of your hosts. I'm the resident horror fanatic.
Yes, and I'm Aaron, another one of the hosts. I am a horror lover. I wouldn't say I'm a fanatic. I don't watch horror 24/7 unlike Chris. I do get scared. And I watch horror films because of how they make me feel and not really, to analyze stuff. But then there's someone who's even more scared than me. The other co-host.
That would be me. I'm Miguel. I'm the third co-host. I like movies, but I'm also the resident scaredy cat. So ako yung pinakamadaling matakot.
So those are our hosts, but I want to dive in and introduce everyone to our guest for today because it's quite a special day. We've got quite the horror pedigree.
Well,
on with us today. She played a mysterious nun in Erik Matti's Seklusyon, and she also plays the aswang Sabel in the miniseries Tabi Po, which is based on Mervin Malonzo's really popular comic. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome actress Phoebe Walker.
Yay! Welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me. Duwag ako.
Yes.
Just FYI.
Yeah, no jokes please na nakakatakot.
No. Ikaw, Aaron,
Yan na. For someone though who's duwag, you've come out in quite a few horror films. Why do you think that is if you're such a scaredy cat in the first place?
I know, it's funny. I think the facial features ko, I kind of like
Bagay.
Bagay.
Oo, medyo bagay sa mumu. But watching it myself, like mga Japanese, like Grudge, Ring, all of those, I haven't seen any of them. So.
Yeah. I imagine it'll be hard for you because they look more like you. I was actually telling the guys before that when I would watch The Ring, I would get scared because when I'd look at myself in the mirror, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I look like that ghost in the other movie. So yeah, no, I don't think that's a wise choice if you're scared, no? But you're here on a horror podcast and we are so happy to have you here. What was your first experience with horror films or shows or anything like that?
Well, I remember when I was, because I grew up in Hong Kong, so medyo Chinese.
Medyo.
So, but I remember watching yung Snow White and Sigourney Weaver, if you've seen that. And I remember having nightmares, like I couldn't sleep for like 4 nights straight because I just kept crying because her face kept on, before you go to bed and replays in your mind. So I kind of get that when I watch scary movies, so I try not to watch scary movies. Unless I'm on a date. Shut up!
Para pwede I love that. You picked a great one though. I was telling Chris that this was I really enjoyed watching this when I was younger. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience when you saw this film?
Well, it was a long time ago, but I just saw it once and then it was enough to really keep me up at night. So, but then after that, Jeepers Creepers was a big influence. Yeah.
Nice.
What else? I like yung mga torture. You can classify that as horror.
Oh, absolutely.
One, like Hostel, Saw.
Saw. Final Destination.
Absolutely. That's really funny. So you're more into gore, I guess, than like the scares.
Horror.
Yeah, not horror. Yung mga jump scare, mga supernatural, that really freaks me out. Paranormal, I haven't seen any of those.
Ooh.
Same.
I haven't seen Insidious either. Any of those.
Same.
Yeah. Pet Cemetery, ayan. I saw that. That kept me up at night as well.
Wait, the latest one or the original one?
The original one, of course.
That was my horror origin movie, Pet Cemetery. Nabe. Yeah, di na ako makatulog doon.
Grabe, no? Pero isipin mo yung mga concept ng movies, parang some of them are really original na parang, parang how could people come up with that? Anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting to me that you don't know if torture porn is classified as horror because this doesn't scare you. So what is your definition of horror if goriness and people's arms getting cut off isn't horror?
Well, I used to be afraid of those. Pero kasi after having experience of being in a movie, in a horror movie, it kind of removes the magic of some sort. Parang nawawala kasi, it's prosthetics na parang if you see an arm chopped off, somebody came in to like put it there, so medyo nawala yung scariness for me.
Interesting.
But, so that's how I can tolerate these kind of movies. Like Game of Thrones is kind of gory, diba?
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
So I like those, yeah.
Has your opinion of horror changed since you became, well, not just became an actress, no, but one who's been in quite a bit of horror productions? Like, not just in terms of like, obviously it still scares you, I guess, because you said, but like, has it changed? Like, has it become easier or like, do you not want to watch it more because you've been in a bunch of horror movies?
Well, definitely, it still scares me, especially yung mga big production movies like The Nun, Conjuring, yung mga sikat abroad. Yan. Pero yung local, because I've seen the process, so it doesn't really bother me as much. Yeah.
So Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
It was Miguel's again very big fan of horror. So usually we ask him to give our quick summaries. So Miguel, do you want to give us a quick summary on what the movie's about?
I'll try.
Yeah.
So Jeepers Creepers is about a brother and a sister driving their way back home, I think, to visit their parents.
Oh.
And along this highway, they encounter a sinister figure who sort of gets on their case, a sort of sinister figure who they've disturbed. And over the course of the movie, you get a little background on that sinister figure, but it's also about these two siblings trying to get away, while also in the middle of a small town, I think, if I got that right.
Galing.
Thank you.
So it was first time for Miguel, but how about you guys, both Aaron and Phoebe? When did you guys see this movie? Was it like around the time when it came out? This is like early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, time it came out.
Yeah. I watched it around that time also, and I was...
So
you were young though when that came out, I guess, no? Because I was in high school. That was pretty... I'd consider high school young. But yeah.
And it was intense at, watching it at that point in our lives.
It's true.
Ayan. Diba? The first and the second one was good. The one with the school bus. Did you guys see Jeepers Creepers 2?
Oh.
I think ito yung isa sa mga scary movies that the sequel is as good as the first one.
Ooh.
I would say. Have you guys seen that one?
Jeepers Creepers 2? No, I have not.
No?
So is it a continuation of like immediate or like years later?
Years later.
Continuation of...
Yeah, years later. Because you know
interesting.
how the animal or whatever monster comes around every so and so years.
Yes.
So this is his return. Yeah. And then
excellent.
Justin Long is in that one. So
23.
23 years. Yeah.
How is he?
You should see it.
Okay, I want to watch it. Because now that you said it's just as good as the first one, I really want to see it. I remember seeing Jeepers Creepers when I was young and thinking already that, wow, the stronger one is the sister. The stronger figure, the stronger character is the sister. And that was something completely new to me because when you see other movies, the women are always screaming, they're always getting scared. This girl took control of the car, ran over him like 6 times, and it was her choice, you know what I mean? So it was really cool for me. Plus, she was super hot. So I really enjoyed that part.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, it was really scary for me kasi you remember this scene, my favorite scene. He's on top of the police car. And then whatever he takes from his victim, it becomes part of himself. Talino, diba? Pucha, diba? So
it's a good concept.
Great concept. So parang he's kind of unstoppable, especially like watching it as a high school girl. Parang there's no escaping. So
I think that's exactly what when I was watching, because I saw this, I didn't see it when it came out, but I saw it maybe a few years later. And so I had kind of forgotten what the movie was about till I saw it again yesterday. And then watching it again yesterday, it was like, this is really the kind of movie that you want to watch with your friends. Like it's a monster movie that's like, it's not art. It's not art horror. It's not like super terrifying horror.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, fun monster movie, old school kind of horror. And I think if I had seen it in high school, I would have had such a fantastic time, probably.
Yeah. And
wow.
I remember the scene that freaked me out the most was when he discovered all the bodies on the wall.
Yeah.
When the light just shone on it, I was like, what the hell? Creepy. Super, super creepy.
So I get it that Phoebe, you'd like this because it's not just a horror film. There's also a bit of gore. I mean, not a little bit. There's a lot of gore in it. But
yeah.
In fact, once you see who the antagonist is, who the monster is, it becomes more of a gore movie.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
And it also had a tune. He had his own song. Jeepers, Creepers, right?
Yeah.
It played on the radio. So, that was scary.
I know. And it's a song that I grew up knowing that song because my lola would sing it.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a real old
It's a real,
song.
and it's patawa lang. Ooh, parang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really scary pag natitwist yung song, no? A song that you don't associate with horror and then suddenly they put it in a horror movie. Parang, di ba, mas creepy. Every time you hear that
Mas
song.
creepy siya. Yeah.
Like that song, 'Cause You're Every Woman in the World to Me. That was in another gory movie, if you know.
Really?
Yeah. Slither.
Miguel, Google it.
Oh.
Sorry, she said it's Slither.
Slither.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love Slither.
I have not seen that.
Right.
Fantastic. It's by James
Maybe we should
Gunn.
watch
He's,
that.
he directed Guardians of the Galaxy. That's one of his first few movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sige.
So
I'm
back
happy to post it. I mean, I'll watch
back
it.
to Jeepers Creepers. I totally forgot that it starred Justin Long, and I was like, "Ooh, it was made in the early 2000s."
Yeah.
It's nice seeing
Was it a
him as kid.
blockbuster when it came
It
out?
was a pretty big hit.
Was it a block?
I remember it got
Okay.
the franchise approval almost immediately. They greenlit the sequel almost immediately. It made a few
Pero
bucks.
parang hindi sumikat yung girl, no? Parang si Justin Long yung
Yeah. Si Justin Long lang.
who became
Oo.
sort of
I remember renting the VCD sa Video City. So, ganun siya katagal.
Yeah.
Member pa ako dati.
Dalawang disc pa yun, no? VCD hindi siya DVD. So that's disc A and B.
Yeah.
I don't
Memories.
remember a lot of horror movies that came out around that time. Sabay ba yun ng mga Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer?
I know what you did.
I know it. Oh, I
Sabay ba
love
sila?
those. Yeah. Jennifer Love
A
Hewitt.
little
See, you
after.
like horror naman pala. It's
Yeah.
just you can't take Mumu and
I can take the mumu. Oh. Yeah.
But you can take the kind of like
Gory
stabbing
stabbing.
and-
Oh, I love that. Oh.
I love that.
Ang ganda nun. Ang ganda.
Okay yan.
So she
No,
likes
kasi-
horror, but she doesn't
Okay.
call it horror.
Yeah.
Something
Got
else.
it.
Yeah.
Especially yung mga vampire, like, as you mentioned earlier, I
Yeah.
play the vampire. Can we talk about that now?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure,
Right,
yes,
yeah.
please.
So I love vampire movies. Like Interview with the Vampire was one of the first ones I've seen. But then I was in Tabi Po, the comics by Mervin Malonzo, and it's funny how you think they eat organs, but it's actually just jelly. It's just like gelatin, and then the blood is, I'm sure you know, it's just corn syrup and food coloring. So it smells like pancakes. So yeah. But it's just really sticky when you get it all over you. Kasi syempre, like vampire, you have to be like marahas, like that. So it gets all over you, and then
Surprisingly, Tabi Po is so gory. Like, it is gory.
yeah.
Like, the first episode, like, Phoebe rips out a heart, hands it to someone else, they feast on it. It's really gory. I was surprised.
Right. Yeah. I love my character. I love characters like that. Na, of course, I'm a woman. So using our femininity to sort of like lure guys in, and then you eat them up. So I did that in Tabi Po. Sorry, medyo weird ba ako? Medyo weird eh, no?
No,
Or, okay lang.
I get it. I get it.
Okay, yeah. So
What's your favorite aswang in that case? Do you have one?
favorite aswang? Like among
All the mythical creatures that we have.
all right. Kasi I've also played tik-tik. Diba? I mean,
Yeah.
yung nagkakalahati yung katawan. Yeah, so I was on Panday for MMFF and I played that. And then I was flying through the air obviously with the cords on. And then I was fighting Coco Martin. Oh my gosh, that was... And then it got cut out of the movie.
All that hard
Yeah.
work.
That's the worst
All that
part.
effort.
I know. So yun yung masama. Pag big budget, they don't really care. They just cut scenes out. So
Man.
That
at least I have my
sucks.
memories. Yeah.
Do you have a dream horror role that you'd like to play?
Yeah, that you haven't already since
Yeah,
you've been
that
in
you
pretty much
haven't.
everything.
Dream horror. No, actually, I want to change genres. I want to do romance. Yeah,
Oh.
like Nicholas Sparks kind of script. Kasi medyo nauuso na yan ngayon eh, diba? Like it can be on like a small budget film can be on Netflix as long as the script is good enough. So just hoping for stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Meron bang romantic horror?
There's a lot. Yeah, I could send you a list, Miguel.
Dark
what?
Shadows.
I mean, a lot of the
Aside from Bram Stoker's...
yeah, a lot of the vampire films are really inherently romantic.
So
because it's a very
minus
intimate act of
Twilight,
Twilight.
minus Bram Stoker's Dracula. Meron bang romantically themed horror movie
Romantic.
na
Like zombie, ganon.
or even
Oh.
galing talaga ni Iron Man. Sounds yeah, like maybe like the monster falling in love
Bram Stoker's
Frankenstein.
Dracula.
Ay, joke lang. Hindi, wala.
with Frankenstein, I
Wala
guess.
pala
Bram
siyang
Stoker's
love.
Dracula.
I guess that's the class.
Yeah, the Dracula.
Let's say like Romeo and Juliet. Oh wait, that is Twilight.
there's a really good
Twilight.
there's a really good romantic vampire movie called Near Dark. I actually think you will like that,
Oh,
Miguel.
wow.
It's by Catherine Bigelow. She
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I do love her.
it's incredible. It's one of her
Was it
really earlier movies. It's called Near Dark.
Near
Yeah,
Dark?
it's fantastic.
All right,
It's also really romantic. too.
1987.
Yeah, it's great.
1987. Is it like the You've Got Mail of sorry, just kidding.
Of vampire films.
You've Got Mail of horror, yeah.
That would be
Wow,
Twilight.
this looks really interesting.
but, yeah.
This looks really interesting.
Yeah, I think you'd like it.
All right, into this.
Phoebe, baka that's something
Thank
you can
you.
transition to. Like
my
horror
gosh.
romance muna before full romance.
Yeah.
That would be
Para
the
people-
gateway to full romance.
Diba? So
Kailangan
you're
may
still
horror
recognizable
muna.
as, yes, she does horror. Oh, wow, horror love. And then it'll transition to love.
Pwede. It doesn't
Diba?
really matter if it's a happy ending or a sad ending. Actually, sometimes better nga sad ending, diba?
Oh, now I know why you like Jeepers Creepers. You like
Yeah.
that's unsettling feeling after the movie.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Interesting.
That was a really cruel
Buti na
end for Justin Long.
I know.
Yeah, super.
Spoilers to everyone listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I mean,
gets-
it came
yeah.
out in.
That's a bad ending for
Yeah.
Right.
So
He
sad.
lost sight.
I'm glad I saw it midday at hindi nighttime.
someone. Is this really the kind of movie that would scare you, Miguel?
Yeah, like well, in the beginning it was especially. Well, you know what? Baka not so much. In hindsight, like I think they did that thing wherein they show the monster, like you see his features right away, so it's not as scary as it's not a mystery anymore. And I think they wanted to show him right away so that they can get into his background a little. Parang they were creating a myth around the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Around. So that was pretty interesting for me.
For you, Phoebe, like how do you go through? Sorry, we're concentrating, of course, on your horror work, right?
Right, yeah.
I didn't mean to jump away from your romance dreams, but going back
That's for
into
a
your horror
different
background.
podcast. Yeah.
When you read a script, like how do you imagine it in your head? Like as someone who does not like the genre that much, how do you internalize?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
well, I think the acting training comes in. But of course, if you read the script, obviously it's just like reading a story. And then however it translates in your head, but then you're not the director. That's for the director. The actor. So how do I do it on set? Just focus on my training. Like for example, in Seklusyon, I played Madre Cecilia, if you guys saw that. So when I was there, obviously the location was kind of creepy and the set was obviously made that way to be creepy. But then myself, I was just like acting as Cecilia. But then obviously if you guys saw it, hindi naman ako talaga yung main mumu doon. So I have a lot of inner monologue. That helps if you're the mumu. Say if you're playing a ghost, because you don't have any lines and that, so there's no backstory. So inner monologue helps.
I have a question. Yeah. Most of the horror films, or some people that I know who have appeared in horror films, say that sometimes during set, weird things happen. Were there any instances like that for you? Because you've done so many. Kahit kwento-kwento lang from the crew or anything like that.
Yeah. I have a few stories to tell. And then, well, the first
we
one
are
was
all ears.
Yeah, kasi we were shooting in this secluded house in where was it? Pililia in Rizal. And that house didn't have any electricity. It didn't have any water. So at night, all we had were the production lights. Yeah. So we had one in our waiting area. But I was always with my co-actor. So I never had alone time naman. So, but we heard from our crew na parang the lights kept turning off daw. So like when they were testing it, it was okay. But then when it was time to shoot, the lights would stop working for some reason. So it's not really like baka na-disappoint kayo sa story. Pero yun,
No,
lights didn't work, ganyan. But another story I would never ever forget is one of my co-actors, one of the priests, the deacons in the movie, he was having a hard time internalizing yung pagiging scared. So ang ginawa sa kanya ng director namin, he kind of pushed him into a room na talagang no lights, and then he kind of locked him in there for 20 minutes. And he just kept shouting and banging on the door because he wanted our co-actor to get scared, diba? Our director. So that was kind of his motivation. So because I didn't want to be treated that way, I made sure I was in character every moment I was on set. Ayoko malak sa kwarto. But in that creepy house. But yeah.
Yeah, that would drive you too. Like, I'm scared. I'm direct. I'm scared. Start crying. Diba?
Yeah, and then and then direct Erik opens the door. Ready ka na? And then direct, ready na ako. And then one take tapos. So
damn. I actually heard that for The Shining, the director, sorry, what's his name? Kubrick ba?
Kubrick, yep.
Kubrick locked Shelley Duvall also, or something like that. But this was very abusive. I heard that he was super duper abusive to Shelley Duvall. So maybe don't be like that. Direct Erik, maybe not like that. I get it. But no,
we're actually gonna have direct on the pod soon. So
interesting.
Oh yeah. Nga pala. So you're gonna talk about Seklusyon then, I'm sure.
Direct sino yung lilock niyo sa kwarto?
I think. Do you know what his movie was? Chris, what's his movie?
Or are we spoiling?
Oh, he hasn't selected one yet.
Sana Slither.
Slither.
So what other horror movies would you say are in your top 3? Since now we know that you're into horror, just not mumu. What would you be in your top 3?
Seklusyon.
Nah.
Ulit.
You know, the one with me.
Okay. Top 3. Oh gosh. I don't have a top 3.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. But I like what I mentioned earlier. Final Destination.
Yeah. The first one or all?
All of those. Basta may patayan. Kind of like, oh. Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, all of those. But I can't watch Hostel for some reason.
Oh.
Parang sobra siya. Annabelle, yan. Scream.
Scream.
I really liked Scream, actually.
I'm a super duper big fan of Scream. It's one of my favorite movies. So that's kind of funny. You're pretty consistent. You like the killing and the stabbing and the blood and the gore. So
yeah, it's really thrilling.
I think Phoebe, you are a closet horror fan. You haven't fully accepted your fanaticism. But I do believe that in your heart you are a horror fan.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am honored. I think you should like score your guests.
Oh,
How much of a horror?
Oh, like okay, result, you are actually a big horror fan, or like noob, or like closet. Ayan. So ako closet.
or we can rate according to like, let's say like 5 skulls or something like that.
Yeah, no.
5
stabs.
ghosts. 5 stabs.
5 stabs.
Yeah.
That's also kind of funny that you have a very different interpretation of horror and what you consider as horror, because that's been something consistent on the pod. Is whenever we do have guests, they have different interpretations of what they call horror, or what they like. For example, we had Direct Quarkinaris on the show, and his interpretation of horror is very specific. He only considers supernatural stuff horror. Everything else is not horror for him. Like no slasher is not horror.
Yeah.
Everything that happens in the real world is horror. So would Seklusyon be horror for him? Tabi Po would be for him, but would Seklusyon be horror for him? Because it's still... It would, right? Obviously. Like devils are considered supernatural, right? They're not...
Yeah,
am I right?
anti-church. Oh, yeah, I think it would be horror for him. And I think he should see it.
Of course.
Yeah, everybody should see it.
Oh, he's seen it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's why my interpretation of horror is different, is because my kind of horror is the duwag kind of horror. Like yung mga slasher films, that's all I can take. Pero pag pinasukan mo na ng, yan, mga Chucky, that's funny, right? Yung mga Chucky, yung mga killing, like that. But yung mga supernatural lang, I can't take those. So maybe that's why... Yeah.
Is there a reason? Have you had an experience with that or something that would...
No, it just haunts me at night. That's the real reason. Before I go to sleep. Like I have to be my whole body needs to be under the blanket. Otherwise, somebody will just maybe pull me out of my bed.
Yeah.
Mga ganun.
Right.
It really, really haunts me at night. So I don't want to lose sleep. I love to sleep. So
understood.
Yeah.
Are you the type of person who watches horror with friends or with family, or do you like to watch alone?
Occasionally I watch it, especially during Halloween. Yeah.
Wow.
I have like a tradition with my best friends. We watch Magandang Gabi Bayan ni Nole de Castro.
Yeah.
Yung mga ganon, mga scary local, kind of, yung mga folklore, like those are kind of scary, Yung mga nangyayari sa probinsya, mga ganon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Horror fan.
I'm telling you, she keeps trying to deny it, but she is.
Yeah.
Oh.
She does everything I don't do it. So horror fan.
I know exactly.
In like high school, I think I was in high school, there were books that came out, horror stories, and then there were like 11 books. I forgot.
Oh yeah, those really thin ones, like the
yeah. Like short stories, but kind of creepy stories. I was into those. Yeah, I like those. If I can remember.
How about you, Miguel? Because obviously we thought coming in, Phoebe would be the least horror fanatical about the genre, but now it's obviously you. So
it's still me.
Yeah, it's still you.
Yeah, like how are you even?
No surprise.
How are you even a co-host on this podcast?
Well, I think that might be my appeal. The reluctant horror watcher. I hope.
Yeah,
but a lot of I've seen horror films voluntarily and sometimes alone. So it's strange. If I hear that it's a good film, and especially lately na, di ba parang meron ng post-horror movement where it's more hindi na siya gulatan, hindi na siya scare tactics, but it's more of like a
dread
up concept. Parang sometimes I'm willing to get into that. Like I saw Midsommar alone, if I remember right, in the cinema.
Have you seen any of the newer horror stuff, Phoebe?
No. Ano ba? Midsommar, I haven't seen that.
Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Alam mo yung Midsommar may gore yun, baka type mo
Yeah, it's not Mumu. It's not Mumu.
Yeah.
It's just gory lang.
Yeah. It's very trippy.
Gory
so
art.
Trippy and
all right.
Yeah, gory art.
Gory art.
Maybe.
Gory art.
Yeah. The problem is now kasi I try, like my boyfriend, he doesn't like scary films either. So lalo akong nawalan ng kasama. So that's why I've stopped watching. I'm more comedy slapstick na ngayon.
Yeah.
Then maybe you can make a compromise and watch because there's a lot of comedy horror.
Oh, can you give an example?
Cabin in the Woods or Shake, Rattle, and Roll 2?
Oh, I used to watch that MMFF that day.
Yeah.
Shake,
there are so many. There are so many.
15.
Are you serious? 15?
For Shake, Rattle? Yeah.
All right.
Parang after the Shake, Rattle, and 2, dire-diretso na siya.
Yeah.
Parang may gap yung 1 and 2, then bilang after that.
Yeah.
So every Metro Pinoy Film Fest na.
Yeah, kasi it's produced by Regal Films, diba? So it made so much money every Christmas time. So actually, a lot of Filipinos they love horror din eh, diba? Hilig nila sa horror, sobra.
So one of the best things about this whole podcast experiment is with guests we have fans of the genre to come on. And then we also have people who are involved in the production. This is why, again, it's a great honor to have you on, no? Because we get the view from a different side. We've had 2 directors on already, and now we have our first actress, and not just an actress in the whole genre that at least I love. I don't know about Miguel, but yeah. So that's why for me it's really fascinating. I mean, hearing insights from insiders like yourself, because even something as simple as what's the ambiance on a horror set?
Yeah.
You know, like being on Seklusyon, that must have been terrifying because religious horror terrifies me. And that whole movie was so dark, like literally it was dark. So I'm assuming your sets were really like pitch black and it's in the church basement and I mean, like even just ambiance for me for that movie, just imagining it terrifies me. So like, how do you deal with that?
Well, when you're on set, obviously there are like 200 people there. There's like, sobrang daming tao involved. So hindi siya talaga scary if you're involved in the production. And as I said, after shooting, after being part of a scary film like that, it kind of removed the enigma of these sort of films. So now what I do is I just turn the audio down kasi the musical scoring really plays a big part talaga. Oo. So say I'm watching a film that I haven't seen before and it's scary and I know something's coming out because the audio keeps going up. Dun, dun, dun. There's a build-up. Diba? May build-up. So, okay, may lalabas na dyan. Wait, nag-cut na yung direct. So, I think of all these technicalities para ma-distract yung utak ko. But, it's fun. It's fun. Kasi, there's no real difference. Like, I'm shooting an action film. I'm shooting a horror film. Kasi, for me, as an actor, you just need to justify your role or justify your character by you're supposed to bring life to this character. So nawawala sa akin yung scariness, if that makes any sense.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Were you scared of the movie when it came out?
Obviously not.
When you saw the final thing?
No, hindi. Di talaga. Kasi I know what's coming out. I know what's next. I knew the script by heart. So I'm like, so what I was looking forward to was like, which scenes made it to the cut. Alam mo yun? Kasi like, I've experienced, as I said before, sometimes I shoot scenes and then they don't come out in the movie. So natatanggal siya by some higher powers decision. So yun. If I'm not part of the production, then that's a different story. But if I'm part of it, di ako matatakot talaga. No. Sorry, do you guys act?
Do we act?
Do you act? Yeah.
I do comedy.
Comedy.
Yeah, improv theater. So nothing horror. Wow. Well, yeah, there's horror pero patawa, but it's all improv. So
Right.
Stage.
So stage. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
different discipline.
Different discipline,
Yeah.
completely.
Right. Galing,
In fact,
galing
we
ng
don't
improv.
even have scripts. So what you do is, I respect that you are able to memorize stuff. I
Mhm.
no, no.
Yeah, but you're quick. I mean, diba, matalino. So
Different.
kasi
Wow.
improv,
Yes.
like you need to be witty up to some level to deliver improv, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Phoebe, on your movies and shows, are you allowed to improvise? How much is or not at all?
It depends sa director.
Sa direct-
Depends
yeah.
sa director. Pero usually you talk about this beforehand, like during workshops or
Yeah.
during meetings. Na parang direct, what's your style? Am I allowed to like move freely, as long as of course it's within the framework of what I'm given. But you know, like I've been watching a lot of masterclass acting classes.
Nice.
Redundant. And then I found out na si Jim Carrey, kasi he was so malikot daw. He was so malikot. So they always had to have 3 cameras on him.
Camera.
Yeah. So that gave birth to the 3 camera setup. Kasi usually usually there's only 2 cameras, like one wide and then one close up. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know if what I'm saying is right, but anyway, yun. So it's great. It's great as an actor if you're given that freedom to really like move around and kasi as long as you know you flow with it. Pero sa horror, I don't think you can.
I guess.
Extra ganun,
Yeah.
diba? So
Did she just school us in a bit of filmmaker lore? Oh my
I
god.
know, it's so
Absolutely.
cool.
Yeah. No idea.
I guess if you're Jim Carrey and a lot of your comedy is physical, parang you really need the third cam for extra coverage. Imagine the DOP, no? Parang sobrang ilawan to.
like, you know, like biglang tatayo tapos cut na pala siya sa frame pero sobrang galing nung ginawa niya kaya kailangan may nakatutok sa kanya. Yung mga ganun. Yeah, so that's...
Problema ng crew na yan. Yeah. That's interesting. That's so good.
Are there any actors or actresses that you look up to?
Ooh, so many.
Let's go for both local and international.
Yeah, obviously local mga legends like sila like Sherry. Hindi na horror like Sherry Hill kasi I've been in that lane medyo kontrabida lagi. I think it's my facial features talaga. That's why I get those kind of roles kasi medyo matangos masyado, mataray, parang ganon. So
interesting.
But I like also Rose Byrne.
Oh yeah.
She's kind of
She's
like
great.
an underappreciated actress, but she's been in so many films.
She's so
like
funny.
Yeah, she is funny.
She's super good at comedy.
She's so funny.
Yeah. And sexy also. Like she was in Troy, diba? And she was, well, not that sexy, pero, you know, like cute sexy, you know, like crazy, you know.
Agree naman ako. Rose Byrne,
Do you have any plans of, I don't know, getting behind the camera or doing something outside of acting, but still in the production sphere?
I've been thinking of a story maybe I could write.
Lovely.
Yeah. But guess the genre, romance.
Ito na yung romance horror.
Dagdagan natin ng horror. Yeah, but if not that, maybe in a few years, if I get a good mentor, directing. I hope I can direct. Yeah. Kasi obviously being in projects, when I watch films na ngayon, I look at the camera work na rin. You know, I look at how the extras move in the back. Like, hindi consistent. Alam mo yun? So, medyo technical na ako manood ngayon. Very, very technical. So, that's why I'm not that scared sa horror. And the ones that I watch, yung mga slasher lang yan.
So if non-horror, but like for everything else that you watch, has being in the production sphere kind of ruined the experience of watching stuff for you now that you're so aware of everything?
No, I still appreciate it. Obviously, because it's still art at the end of the day, and you know, na a lot of people worked hard on it. So it hasn't really removed yung magic of cinema. You know, if you say it that way. Pero I have a deeper appreciation for it, I would say. Like a deeper understanding of what happens. So, ayun. So, medyo very critique-ish. Maybe I could blog nga anonymously. movie reviews, ganyan. Yeah.
Let's give a hypothetical. Let's say you give up horror roles totally for the next I don't know, decade or so.
Okay.
Is this something, because like for what I get right now is you really want to dip your toes into something else, something different. Is this something that you're gonna swear off forever, or will you ever consider coming back?
No, definitely not. I mean, lahat ng opportunity that presents itself, obviously, kung maganda story, ganyan. Even if it is horror, kahit ako ulit yung maging multo. Kasi, you know, I've played the nun, I've played the aswang, and they were all great experiences because it challenges me as an actor. Kasi obviously, like, how are you gonna motivate yourself to want to eat people, diba? Na parang, so it comes from a different part of you, sort of like your alter ego, mga ganun, parang ganun. So definitely not gonna swear anything off. No. Do you have a project?
That's awesome because we would be that would really suck as an audience member.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, did you hear what she said earlier? How do you motivate yourself to eat someone?
Yes.
I know.
In all seriousness pa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
So how do you
that wasn't a joke or anything. How do you motivate yourself to eat someone? I mean, that must be a really serious question you ask yourself as an actress when you're an aswang and you're literally holding a heart in your hand. It's like, what's my motivation? Like to bite into this jelly.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, the camera's on you and you can't look stupid. Otherwise, puta, wala ka ng trabaho. Ay, sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
That's fine. This is
Okay
an
lang.
explicit
That's fine.
podcast. We've said worse. Don't worry.
Okay, so like, so syempre, dapat nasasarapan ka pa, di ba? So talagang may ungol pa yan, may, you know, and all the moans that you can think of. So yeah, I remember I have a line dun sa Tabi Po when I first encountered the new aswang, Elias, who's played by AJ Mulak. I said, so ano gusto mo? Ikaw ang kakain o ikaw ang kakainin? So that's like your like bottom line sa character mo na parang dog eat dog, parang ganun.
Love it.
But you know how we trained to be aswang?
How?
No.
We had a PETA theater actor, and then he told us to like embody your favorite animal or like your animal. So malamang it has to be in line with aswang. So ako I chose feline, cheetah, mga ganyan. So we had to walk around the room pretending to be a cheetah for like 5 minutes. And you had to cross each other, and they were different animals. You know, there was like a wolf, there was like someone was like a bird or of some sort, or like an eagle. So when you cross each other, you can't laugh or anything. You have to be like eyes on the ball. So acting is fun. Sobra.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun activity actually.
Yeah.
I'll do it by myself later.
So actually, on the flip side, I asked you earlier about like the ambiance being so scary and stuff. As an actor, does it take you out of the moment when you're like, I'm covered in syrup? This is kind of a funny moment. Like, how do you guys deal with that?
Well, it's hard. Hindi. Syempre, ako kasi, you know, as soon as the director says action, you're out of your head. You're just feeling. Depends sa actor. Ako kasi, honestly, hindi ako maarte sa set. Like, there was this one scene I had to do where my co-actor spits in my mouth, and I didn't even know there was a spit cup. So when they said cut, I thought I had to get rid of it on my own, if you know what I mean. So mga ganon. So,
Yikes.
So, depende sa actors. Obviously, they have different, you know, to each their own. Pero sa akin, I enjoy being dirty. Yeah, It's fun.
Well, maybe this is why you get cast as an aswang, because you enjoy being covered in blood or dirty, or you're like, she'll do anything, you know?
Yeah, I mean, why not? It's fun having that power for that story, in that story, na you're like a supernatural entity and nothing can touch you, nothing can kill you, even for just that, for like Tabi Po, diba? So why not? I mean, how else are you gonna live that sort of life, or imbibe that sort of character? The only way is through acting, unless you do that at home on your own or something like that. Pero I get paid to do it as well. Like, wow, diba? So there might be a season 2. So yeah. And
no way.
Yeah.
Great.
And I saw our comic book writer. He's part of your group as well. Dead Air.
I am courting him to go on the show.
Yeah,
I'm doing it slowly. I'm seeding it.
Yeah. Have you told him that you're guesting me on tonight?
Not yet. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Say Sabel. Sabel was on it. Yeah. Good man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There are a lot of connections, I guess, because all you guys who basically work in horror are interconnected. So we've got the writer of Seklusyon. He's going to be a guest. There's Erik, of course. He's going to be a guest, and then I'm trying to get Mervin. So yeah, it's a nice little horror network that I'm trying to build. That we're trying to build to get on the pod.
That's what I noticed. Like, action people know everybody, and then horror people know everybody, and it's like really tight knit community. So you have to be buddy to everyone, otherwise, small world, showbiz.
Let's go to real world horror. How has the pandemic been for you?
Oh my God, I'm so happy you guested me here. I'm bored to tears. Yeah, well, it's been difficult because before the lockdown and everything, I was gonna do 2 things. I was gonna be in a series, which I also play a vampire in. It was funny. I just remembered now. And then I was gonna do a movie where it's an indie film, and I speak 100% Pangasinense. So yeah, but so that got canceled, obviously. So I'm bummed, really bummed.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. It got delayed. So now, what have I been doing? I started my own small business. How about you guys?
Well, we started this podcast.
All right.
It's kept us alive.
Yeah.
This is, as I said, this is my first podcast, and I just got invited to another one, which is a comedy one. So it's I'm happy to be introduced to the world of podcasts through you guys. So thank you for inviting me, Chris. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Oh, by the way, our co-host Aaron has her own comedy podcast.
Ooh,
yeah.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
Please plug your podcast.
Why, if you want to listen to me interview people in comedy, writers, performers, and the likes, please tune into Tawa Let's on Globe Studios.
Right.
Tawa Let's.
Tawa Let's, yeah. Are you part of Comedy Manila? Or anything?
No, I'm not.
No.
So Comedy Manila is stand-up comedy, and what I do is improv comedy. We all sort of know each other, but we don't really perform together. Different disciplines.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who are you going to be on with? Cool Pals? Are you going to be with the Cool Pals?
Red Oliero. I forgot what the
Red.
Oh, Red, of course.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Red on the show as well.
Oh, yeah, he's funny. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get him on here. I just miss people,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just miss people.
It must be so different being someone in production, surrounded by people all the time, and then suddenly everything's shut down. It's a weird place to be in right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the first time I've ever had anxiety attacks because,
totally.
Yeah, I know all of us, somehow are going through this. So it's kind of nice to talk to each other about it. So
you are not alone.
Yeah, no.
No, we find ways, our own ways of coping. For me, it was really trying to build this thing. Because
Right.
it's really the
Cool.
nights that are hardest. It's like, oh God, it's another evening. What am I going to do? And so I am so thankful actually that we have this. Seriously, I look forward to it every week.
Parang our podcast became our way of socializing and like for me, meeting new people. Like whenever we have a new guest, parang look, I made a new friend.
Yeah, we should add
This
each
used
other.
to happen outside, but yeah.
We should add each
Now it
other on
happens on
Facebook and
podcast.
Instagram.
Well, thank you so much for being on the pod, Phoebe. We were so happy to have you here, and we hope to have you back. And as a last question, just because you picked Jeepers Creepers, again, I really like this movie. If you were in that situation as the sister, what would you have done?
Oh gosh, I would have probably done the same. I would have run over him like 10 times then. But like, how could you survive that monster?
Oo nga.
Diba? Parang,
Especially if it's coming
Yeah, I
after
think-
you talaga.
kasi there's no
And
reasoning
I also think the
with
point
him.
of it was you can't because
You can't.
Diba, there's the whole
Oh.
psychic saying that there's,
Yeah.
no matter what you do, it's gonna happen. You're gonna die.
Yeah. So like probably make yourself look weak kasi he likes the strong ones, diba? He's gonna like, diba?
That's
I don't
true.
know.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
You just
Act
roll up in
scared.
the corner.
Pretend you were in a closet for 20 minutes.
Uh,
Pretend you were in that room. But anyway,
Yeah.
thanks so much. Is there anything that you want to tell us about that you're doing or any projects that you're a part of right now?
I'm going to be in a few things, but none of them have started production because of the pandemic. So, as of now, I might start my own YouTube. So, guys, please follow me on Instagram at Phoebe Catherine Walker and Facebook at Phoebe Walker, and watch out for any of my promotions. Thank you.
You guys heard that? Follow her, Phoebe Catherine Walker, on Instagram and Phoebe Walker on Facebook. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed as much as we
you.
did. And thank you so much for the
Thank you so
listeners
much.
for tuning in to this episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Sa numero.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Brought to you by Big Baby Studios.